Hello from the Flanagan Homestead. Just a couple weeks ago I did a video on Holland American Farms and how they grow tulips throughout much of the year and ship them all over the country. This video is a quick video about Benno taking his young family, his wife and his young kids from Holland, coming here to America with just a few suitcases and starting this great farm from scratch. So please give a listen to Benno and his story. All right, Benno, we're back in the office. Just give us a brief recap. You were born in the Netherlands, when you came over, what you started with, and just basically how you built up this tulip farm that you have.
Okay, so quite a story. I was growing up on a bulb farm that my father had after World War II. He started it with his brother. He had 7 acres of bulbs with daffodils, iris, crocus and tulips, and everything was done by hand when I was growing up, and I still appreciate it today that I actually had to do all that hand labor, but we were planting it by hand. That was digging by hand. So that was quite something. Hard labor, a lot of lifting, because we didn't have, let's say, tools to get the crops out of the ground. So everything was done in crates and to carry them on a lorry to the warehouse and then from there process them. So there was a lot of hand labor, but I really appreciated it. So my father had that farm. I was actually becoming part of the farm. Was able, after the horticultural school that I went to, I was able to, let's say, manage to get it from a very small farm to one of the largest farms in the Netherlands. When I was growing up, there were 5,000 bulb growers in the Netherlands. We were one of 5,000. And when we made the decision to go to the United States, we had one of the 50 top farms in the Netherlands. So I was very proud of that, learned a lot. We were mechanized at that time. And then I fell from a straw car in the Netherlands from about 14 feet high, fell on my head, so I had a concussion, ended up in my bed for a couple of weeks, which I was not used to because I was always on the go. My wife got sick and she was at a certain point for a couple of days laying right next to me, and we talked about the past, about the now and about the future, and I came up with this crazy idea that we might want an opportunity to go to the United States and start something over there. I always was in love with the United States. So I brought it up one time to my wife. I said, what about going to the United States? And I thought she was going to hit me straight in the face. But she said, you know what, I am for it. So we took a week off after I recovered, and we talked about it and started to think about what happens if we are going to leave everything behind here, which was quite something. Actually, it was a crazy idea, but we just had something in our minds that we want to pick up a challenge in the United States, start from scratch, because we knew that if we were going to leave the farm in the Netherlands, then we had to give it actually up to my brother, a cousin of mine, and my father, and so we were not able to take too much with us to the United States. So we made a decision, and to make a long story short, I was able to get, let's say, papers from my sister. She was already in the United States. She allowed me to go on a 6th preference group to go to the United States as immigrants. Finally, we were able to go to the United States in 1980. We left the Netherlands, pretty much everything behind. In the meantime, people really thought that we somehow, because of the fall from the straw car, that I thought that I lost my mind. Because why in the world would you give up what you have now? You have a nice home, you have a nice car, you have a nice surrounding. We had lots of friends, lots of family, and then we were thinking about going to the United States and start a new life there. And so that's what we decided. And so on the 20th of July 1980, we went to the United States. We ended up in Woodland, Washington. We had a trip that we took about half a year before that, where we were possibly going to live. I found out that Woodland, Washington, that they have a farm. They had a farm that was run by 3 Dutchmen, and they were growing bulbs in this area. But because of, I would say, mismanagement, they quit. They didn't go forward with it because they had a big farm here. Actually, everyone that is of my age or young, about the same age, that is living in Woodland, they worked on the United Bulb Company in Woodland. And I felt if that is maybe something that they are not going to continue, then I might have an opportunity, I might have a niche. Because if you can grow bulbs here, then that might be something for us. So we decided to strike down in Woodland, Washington. And so we came here with basically with nothing. We had 10 suitcases with us, 1 tote that we had some stuff for the kids in there. And so we started out with that with a little bit of money. And then my eyes fell on this property here. 125 acres, beautiful property. I double checked it with all the soil maps. And this is about the best location where you have sandy soil right next to a river, where it is protected and that actually well-drained soil, and that's what you need for growing bulbs. So I was able to talk to the one that owned this property, and I said I want to have let's say the opportunity to grow some tulips here. Maybe I can rent something. That person said he said no. I only like to sell the whole property or nothing. And he said that he was really in love with our story and he wanted to give me the opportunity. I thought that is not possible. He came back, and you know that in the time that we started here, the interest rate was 18%. And so there was no way that I could afford anything close to buying it. He said, I want to sell it to you, no matter what. He came up with a plan that I didn't have to pay any interest for the first 3 years. He was allowing me 5 acres free and clear that I was buying with the money that we had. So I bought 5 acres free and clear. With the 5 acres I went to the Columbia Bank here in Woodland and was asking for a $250,000 loan that was allowing us to build a home and a warehouse and a little bit of startup capital. And I remember Paul Storsitz, that was the bank manager at that time, when I came up with this plan, he said, what do you have to offer? I said, those 2 hands and those of my wife. I said, we are going to make it. He said, but then at least I like to have some kind of a budget to give you the loan. So I got that loan. I got a deal with the owner that I didn't have to pay any interest for the first 3 years, and the rest was on a contract. And so that's how we started. And so we started to grow some tulips here. And if you look back, that I didn't have no contacts, I didn't have no one that I could sell it to, so I had to start with calling people, trying to find a home for it, and I was able to do that. I was able to go into other businesses such as the green business. I was doing Christmas trees, I was doing boughs for Christmas wreaths, and just to make a dime, make a buck. And then I went from Woodland, Washington, I went to California. I started to make contacts with growers that were growing roses, carnations and chrysanthemums, and I felt that there might be an opportunity for me to sell them lily bulbs, because I knew how to store bulbs year round, and you saw them in the warehouse that are frozen. I was able to get them year round to those growers, and hopefully they were changing, let's say, from the roses, chrysanthemum and roses, that they were able to maybe grow lily bulbs. And so I got an in with some growers, and from there it started growing more and more and more. And I imported those bulbs from the Netherlands, stored them in Woodland, and then shipped it to those growers on a weekly basis. So they were growing lilies year round. And then at a certain point I was, let's say, getting my eyes on a farm in California in 1986. This was 6 years after we started here. And I thought, you know what, if I can sell those bulbs to growers in California and they can grow them in production and they can make some money on it, so why don't I start something for myself? And so we started the farm there in 1986, and that developed into a bigger and bigger farm. And at a certain point I decided not to sell any bulbs anymore to the growers that I was selling it to, but concentrate on the farm in California for ourselves. And that has been developed into a now 75 acre production farm. We have 2 million square foot under let's say construction, and that is all with heated greenhouses and whatnot. So we grow a good number of flowers between woodland, with tulips, and with peonies and other products, and with California with lilies, ranunculus, and snapdragons. We do about an average of 1 million stems a week. And so those are going all over the United States. We ship to all the 50 states in the United States. So I feel that yes, we came a long ways, but this is a little bit of a short version of what all happened. But and of course I need to mention that I started here with my wife and 3 children, and I'm sorry to say that I lost my wife this spring. She passed away in February the 5th, and that was of course very heartfelt, but she is still with me in spirit. I know that she is looking out over us, but she of course has been a big portion of everything that happened here, and so I'm very proud of her. She actually ended up being an acupuncturist and a healer, so that was something that she wanted to do. And I'm glad that she did it, but she has been a big part of everything that has been developed, and we have a wonderful family. I have 3 children. They came over here, Nicolette and Ben and Steven. They were 7, 4 and 2 years old. So can you imagine that we started here with that family? Now we have 3 families. From those 3 children, I have 10 grandchildren. Very, very proud of them. And so yeah, it is a blessing of everything that happened.
So it's all good. I think I heard you say you have 1 million stems a week?
We produce 1 million, an average of 1 million stems a week, yeah, between those products.
Yeah, that's impressive. I know I got some more questions here. So you were here in 1980. How old were you?
I was 29.
29, you made the move.
Yeah, and my wife was 28.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, with 3 little children.
Yeah, but you made it work.
Hard
work.
Hard work. That's. I would say we live the American dream. That's what we came here for. We love the United States, and we just filled in whatever we were able to do, and yeah, live the American dream.
Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching and cleaning horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. I hope you enjoyed these videos on tulips. Here's more videos to check out. Be blessed, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.